Media reports suggest the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump is putting the finishing touches on a plan for the Palestinians and the Israelis. The planned U.S. proposal, which America brands as the deal of the century, could be released any time now. That has alarmed Palestinians. They fear the U.S. could force the Palestinian government to accept the emerging plan. Sources say the U.S. plan will cement Israel's grip on the occupied territories. Palestinian protesters rallied in Ramallah this week in condemnation of the U.S. Mideast initiative. Palestinians are especially furious with the U.S. because of its recent recognition of Jerusalem al-Quds as Israel's capital. People across the occupied West Bank and the Gaza Strip have voiced support for the Palestinian government's rejection of any U.S. mediation role.
Despite the detail of the plan, which hasn't been published yet, we know that it's going to favour Israelis over Palestinians. And it's not going to hold any credibility as a result. See, everybody knows this, but the plan itself won't change, or even the fact that everybody knows it won't change the power dynamic in the region.
The U.S. has helped Israel expand its occupation of Palestinian territories over the past decades. And now it seems Palestinians know too well that any initiative drawn up by Washington will take Israel's side. As the U.S. is busy making final preparations to announce its Middle East proposal, Israel has confidently intensified its land grab and atrocities against the Palestinians. Israeli forces are destroying the Palestinian Bedouin village of Khan al-Ahmar, east of the occupied Jerusalem al-Quds. The demolition comes despite international warnings. Earlier, in another push to expand its settlements in the occupied Palestinian lands, Israel's Planning and Building Committee submitted blueprints for over 1,000 new settler units in East Jerusalem al-Quds. Israeli authorities seem to have no worries at all about their settlement activities. Reports suggest the planned U.S. proposal will allow Israel to keep whatever it has built on occupied Palestinian territories. This as the international community considers all Israeli settlements as illegal.
What's been the case of the last 10 years or so is that it's been much more aggressive, and that's reflective of Netanyahu's government and the general rhetoric that's been happening amongst Israeli politicians, especially of a genocidal sort of quote-unquote final solution to the Palestinian people. And that's been also being pushed forward by legislative moves such as making BDS unlawful, punishing Jewish citizens who support that, as well as the occasional sort of incursion and lack of bombing in Gaza, and the lack of accountability of Israeli personnel.
Meanwhile, crimes against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip have also worsened. Scores of Gazans have been killed by Israeli snipers during anti-occupation protests over the past months. New advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner is believed to be one of the main architects of America's Middle East initiative. He has been visiting the region quite frequently over the past year to sell his ideas. Kushner has sat down for talks with the rulers of regional Arab states like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Reports suggest in trying to push the Palestinians to accept this plan, the Trump administration heavily relies on Arab states like Saudi Arabia. The Arab states are under fire for abandoning the Palestinian cause by moving closer to the U.S. and Israel. The coming months will further reveal how far they are willing to go to appease the U.S.